Hey guys, hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are doing great. My name is Ntando Kumalo, and today we have Ofenste Phogole, and welcome back to the MedTalks channel. I'll jump into today's conversation. I'd like to ask you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Do all the YouTube things to be done. So Ofenste, thank you so much, man, for coming through. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for yourself.
Okay. You know the first question I always ask, right? Before we jump into everything, could you maybe tell us about yourself? There's an interesting story I've heard. I want you to share with us. Please.
An interesting story.
Please include it. Yeah, but just tell us about yourself, where you come from, high school.
Okay, what's the interesting story?
Things. I'll tell you if you don't say it.
Hello guys, my name is Ofenste Phogole. Currently, I think I'll just start with my occupation. So it's kind of non-existent. I'm a fourth year medical student at the University of Pretoria. Originally, I'm from Limpopo, Polokwane. I attended Kuro Yilvagrain High School. Yeah, that's all you asked for me. And then now to introduce the persona that is Ofenste.
Yes.
Okay. I think, what do you call this? Yeah, at the core of my being, I identify strongly with my faith. And then at heart, I think I'm a very big dreamer. Yeah, and I think, well, all other attributes to me or aspects to me are tied to those two things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So the interesting thing I wanted to add was how you got your name.
Oh, okay. I think that's gonna be a whole story. Oh, I must tell it.
Yeah, just shortly. I found that to be interesting.
Okay, so how I got my name. Initially, I was named after my paternal grandmother. Her name was Hussein. And then, okay, so should I just say in the African culture only? But we do believe that, I don't know, you carrying someone's name also kind of their lives kind of become yours in a way.
I understand the concept.
Yeah, I don't know how to word it. Yeah, so my parents decided that, my grandmother didn't live the best life, so they're like, no, we need to rename her. So how the story goes is that I was in grade 3 at the time, and then I was always late for school, and I blamed my mother. So I was always late for school.
I always wonder, why do you blame your mother?
Because my mom, she's the type where she'll wake up at 5 or 5:30, and she wakes up before everyone. Like, even before she comes and she wakes me up, I know she's awake because she's praying. So everybody knows she's awake. Sure. And then she'll wake us up maybe at, let's say, 5:30 or 6. And then you find that she's still doing other things meanwhile. And then only when it's like 30 minutes, before we have to leave, that's when she starts getting ready. It's like, bro, you've been up.
I understand.
You've been up. Yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's besides the point. What was I saying?
How you
we were late.
Yeah.
I was in grade 3, we were late. It was a Monday, had assembly. So, yeah, being late for assembly means that I had to walk into the hall alone. And the hall was it was hollow. Like, basically the chairs went down like this. Yeah. So obviously when I step in, everybody has the periphery to just look at me, right? So obviously now I'm thinking about that, like, okay, should I maybe just wait in the quad, or basically just wait by class and not go to assembly, because I know I'm gonna get in trouble as well, yada yada yada. So these are the things that are going through my mind. And then that's when she decides to tell me that, listen, we want to change your name. We want to change your name. These are the reasons why. And I asked further questions as well. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm open to changing my name. And then, me being me, I thought I was going to use or choose some English-fied name. You never know. Maybe Jessica, maybe Samantha. What's about Beyonce? You know? type
You
of
wanted
thing.
Beyonce.
I wanted Beyonce.
Sure.
And then my mom was like, no, we have 3 names for you to choose from. So it was Ofenste, Diabete, and Phogole. And then, okay, I tell the story like this now. I say that I chose Ofenste because of the meaning, but because I asked her, okay, what does each one mean? But in all honesty, I also chose Ofense because at that time I didn't know anyone called Ofense. So I was like, okay, I get to be unique. Turns out I'm not unique. So yeah, that's how I chose Ofense. But over the years, okay, I can't say over the years, I think I found meaning in my name in the trick.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to tell us more about that name before? What do you mean you found meaning?
So I was watching an interview conducted by Dia. She was interviewing Nomzam. And then towards the end of the video or the interview, they moved from like the couch to like where the interviewee is basically like in a hot seat type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked her a few questions, and then I think it was the last question she asked her, like, in the years to come, when people say your name or mention your name, what do you want your legacy to be? And then, she mentioned a few things before she ended up saying, and by all means, she lived up to her name. So I quickly checked like what Nomzamo means because I'm not Zulu, so I don't know. And then I found out that it means resilience. I was like, oh, okay. I think resilience, being an overcomer, being a victor, it's kind of like not necessarily the same thing, but I love the principle and the concept behind it. So I started adopting, that to my own life, my own name. So that's how I found meaning in the purpose of a name. And so be mindful when you name your children.
All right, that's great, man. So let's jump into it. When was the first time you realized that I want to be a doctor one day?
Grade 11.
Yeah, like what was the story behind that? Like what was the epiphany moment you knew it's I want to be a doctor?
Okay, so for most of my high school career, I wanted to be a chartered accountant.
For the money.
I was good with numbers. Okay. I don't think it was for the money. I was good with numbers, but also obviously I want a career that, I know financially I'll be stable for the most part. Also, my dad has a history in accounting, so I was just like, okay, something that I can identify with, I guess, to some extent, because I think sometimes, especially with children, sometimes you can only dream as far as you see. So that's what I also thought, okay, maybe chartered accounting. And then in grade 11, I was like, no, man, I don't see myself sitting behind a desk and just punching numbers or whatever they do. And I also don't like economics at all. And I don't understand it. I don't think I have a business mind. So I was just like, actually, it's not going to work for me. And kind of like psychiatry just kind of fell out of the sky. Like it feels like it just fell. I can't give you a definite story, although I can say that there is a prevalent history of mental illness in my family. But at the time, I wasn't aware of it. But when you can tell that something's a bit off, like this person behaves or acts in a certain way, I don't know what it is. And then commonly in African households, we don't speak about these things. So it's there, but you don't have the name for it. You can't identify it. So I was just like, okay. And then, psych fell out of the sky. And basically, my pursuit of psych is the only reason I'm in medicine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So from there on, can you walk us then from grade 11, how the marks was, how was application? What were your options in terms of universities?
Okay. Okay, I'd also like to mention that for most of my life, I wasn't really an academic person or a stellar star type of academic person, but I'm someone who's very diligent and very persistent. So I had been trying to be in the top 10 type of thing since grade 8, right?
Okay.
Yeah. it only happened in grade 11. But so basically grade 11, that's when I really just stepped up my game, and so I stepped up my game. I started studying more. If I needed help, I would meet up with the teachers after school, and they were always so willing to help. Yeah, that's basically how I managed to get to the position of being in the top 5 in grade 11. I know. Nice. But not only that, I don't know, for me, it was just a matter of like, at the time, I just wanted an academic badge. I don't know, I wasn't even thinking I want to get great marks so I can get into medicine, because even though I was getting great marks, I was still doubting whether it's really for me, because I'm like, okay, this thing just landed in my heart. Where is it coming from? Also, I know that to get into medicine, you have to get like really, really, really high marks, like 90s type. Sure. And I wasn't there. I'm like a high 80s, maybe 90 type of thing. You know? Nice. Yeah. I was doing life sciences and physics. Yeah. Yeah, accounting and sciences and physics. So for the most part, they were all in the 80s, maybe mid 80s, high 80s. Nice, man. Yeah, but things took a turn in the trick, and I know why. I think at the time, I don't know, my environment just wasn't conducive, because I mean, it was COVID, so most of the time at home. So I was just like, it was weighing down on me. So yeah. But that's how my marks looked like in grade 11. And then from there, I used them to apply only at UCT and BITS. Come on. No, not come on. Wait, learn from me and apply everywhere.
Actually, you were trusting yourself. But you're right.
I was kind of trusting myself, sure. But like life will shake you.
But you're right. It's wise to apply
everywhere. Or as many places as possible. So I applied to all 3. I was waitlisted. No, the decision was deferred for BITS and UCT, and then for UP, UP rejected me from the get-go. They're like, we don't want you.
It's not fair. I don't know why you're laughing. It's not fair.
They're like, nah, I don't want you, girl. So yeah.
How did you take that?
I didn't care. I didn't care because in my mind, UP was my last option. And I only applied because my parents told me to. Because they also told me to apply to Stellenbosch. But I was like, Stellenbosch, I'm not going. But UP, I'm willing to apply. So when they came out, I was like, I didn't want to, so it's fine.
So you're still hoping that either VITS or UCT or something?
And I was determined here. I was like, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get in. Everything is going to turn out nice and good.
Alright, so then what happens then? How do you end up being here?
How did I end up being here? Okay, so got my marks. They didn't look like this is a candidate who can possibly apply or get into medicine. Because even though I wasn't getting the high 90s, my 80s still gave me hope that maybe I could get in. At the end of the day, I was only expecting to get 6 distinctions, but I ended up missing 2 and I only got 4. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. Because again, my only options at that point were VITS and UCT. Sure. So the standard was already very high. Yeah. So imagine me coming with my accounting and my life science, that's now 70, and competing against people of 90s. Doesn't make sense. So yeah, from there I decided that okay, obviously everybody rejected me from medicine after that. I wasn't willing to go to Johannesburg. To be honest, I don't want to come to Gauteng at all. I want to go to
Sure.
I want to go to
Understand.
Yeah. So I decided, okay, I'll do BSc in UCT. And then, yeah, I was still very determined that I'm going to make it happen. It's all going to go well. And then this one, do I call him a consultant, a counselor? Basically, someone just giving me advice on which major to choose when doing BSc. And yeah, he was like, listen, if you're uncertain, I don't know, you have to be very wise with your decision because I also told him that I'm only doing this as a means to get into medicine and not because I have a love for science. I mean, inadvertently, I do have a love for science because medical science, I mean, there is kind of science here, I guess. Yeah, there is science in medicine. But I wasn't looking to. Okay, I think I'll start by saying this. One, already, with my motives of getting into medicine, you can tell that I'm not doing it with the intention of being a scientific person, even though I have the brain to comprehend all of this. I want to go into psych. And from experience, psych isn't as clinical. Yeah, so yeah, I was just like, okay, what do you think I can do? What do you think I should do that would benefit or that would make it easier for me to actually get into medicine? And he was like, well, like 3 years is a very long time to be doing something you don't like or enjoy. So I think you need to think about it more type of thing. And yeah, that's when I basically got off my high horse and I wasn't as determined and reality hit me and I'm like, bruh, like, because he was like, it could even turn into 4 years, you know. It could take longer and you could really struggle because you don't like what you do, what you're doing. So yeah, that hit me like a brick and then kind of went into a state of depression, but not for long, like maybe like a few hours. No, because I'm like, I don't have time.
What do you mean?
I don't have time. I have to move fast. Obviously not like clinical depression, but just like I was really sad. And then what do you call this? After that, what happened? Yeah, that's when I started calling other universities again. Okay.
You're reaching out now.
I'm calling, I'm like, please take me type of thing. Well, not necessarily please take me, but I'm trying to make up for me not doing my research from the get-go of not applying everywhere because that also is at the back of my mind like, you should have applied but only like, no, I'm going to UP, I'm going to UP and whatever. So yeah, now I'm just trying to find out more about the VidSkip program. I'm also considering going to Stellenbosch now. You know?
It's gonna be Jesus.
Biggest kind of
shit. Take anything at this point.
Yeah, I'll take anything at this point, Jane. Okay. So that's what I was doing, and then at Vets they told me basically point blank that the only option you have is GEM. And again, I wasn't willing to wait that long to get into medicine. Because also at UCT there was an option of like if you do well enough, they kind of like a few spots and will take you into medicine the following year. But you'll be starting from scratch, like first year.
Okay.
And Shane, what's a few spots compared to like 50 with the mid-year transfer at UP? So so I opted for UP, but how it started was that, like I said, I was calling everyone, and I think the people who answered my call from Stellenbosch and UP could tell that I was distressed, you know? Because at some point, because you can tell when someone is being purely professional, like, no, these are the options, yada, yada, yada. And because I was so persistent, they were like, Ishbra, like, I sympathize, but like, I'm gonna give you, I don't know, practical advice. And he advised me that don't apply to Stellenbosch, even if you go back and upgrade, because they have a waiting list and they prefer or they prioritize people who are just fresh from the trip as opposed to you. So don't go that route. And then I think the second person who answered my call at UP, Yeah, no shame, man. She could tell that I wasn't okay, and then she asked me, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, okay." And then that's when all the water work started.
Sure.
Um, I broke down over the phone. Not intentionally. It's not like it was emotional manipulation or whatever. I just broke down. And then she's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to send me the late application for biological sciences and for the triple major program. You're going to, yeah, you're going to give them your average, you're going to give them your APS and ask them if there are any spots available. Yeah, and I came to repeat for biological sciences.
How did it feel knowing that at least you're working on something at that time? Did that help clear the depression?
So I guess so because there's a little hope.
There's hope.
At the end of the tunnel. There's like a little light.
Sure.
Faint but there. I think Jim, I was still very much in a state of doubt. But I had a friend at the time who was just like, Shame man, if you feel like you can do it, I say do it.
Okay.
Also because she she also had another friend who was in the same situation as me. Not entirely, but like she had already applied for biological sciences at UP and she's gonna try that out. So she's like, yeah, I also have a friend who's doing the same thing. So I think try it. I think rather try and fail and then after that your next option may be GEMP or just like you finish the degree and then you do medicine. So just optimize your options basically.
Yeah, I think shout out to the people who gave you advice. I think they really helped you save time.
Yeah, no, they did.
They really helped you save time.
Yeah, I wasn't willing. 3 years. Yo.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And you know people do it.
They do.
But anyway, please take us then through BSc.
Yeah, BSc. It was only 6 months.
Sure.
And it was online.
It was online.
Yeah,
wait, when was this? 2021?
Yeah,
okay.
2021. So, yeah. It was online. Because I registered late as well. So, I think I was already a week or two behind on the content. But like there was this girl who was always just like she looked like she was on her Zoom, like she knew her business on the WhatsApp group chat. So I contacted her. I'm like, can you please try like briefly explain everything to me because I registered late. I didn't go through the orientation process. I don't even know how to use this ClickUp thing. What is the timetable? Where do I find it? What do I do? All those kind of things. So she helped me in that regard. And then also, the lady who answered my call from UP, when she told me about the biological science route, she had a friend, I don't know if they're friends, but she was like, I know someone who also went the route that you're trying to go through now. She's in final year now. She's in final year. She's like, I'll put you into contact with her and then she'll advise you on how to approach everything. So, all the wise little pearls that you wouldn't know where to get them if you don't have that kind of insight. So she's like, okay, with this module do this, with this module do that, with this do that. Make sure to touch on this with this module, like all those, things that go a long way as compared to or as opposed to someone who has no insight of that. So yeah, she helped me. Well, she wasn't like present all the time, but like if I felt like I don't know, I'm starting to doubt myself again, I'd run to her. If I wanted specific advice, I'd run to her. But for the most part, yeah.
So she gave you like support throughout this time?
She did.
So she's doing final year?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give a shout out to her?
Should I?
I don't know, I think do you want to?
I don't know, but she knows I love her, Shane.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to you.
I appreciate her very much. I wouldn't be here today for sure.
Nice.
If it wasn't for her.
No, that's great. Hey? So take us through, man, applications, when we answered, and like how was the overall experience?
Oh, applications for what? I'm forgetting that mid-year transfer you actually do have to apply.
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I understand.
We had like a briefing session, I think maybe before exams, before they actually opened up the applications, like, okay, um, with each demographic, these are your perspectives of getting in, all those things. And I don't know, I feel like they should have, okay, maybe they mentioned this during the orientation because I wasn't there. Like, you have to make sure that you have those other additional modules, like the MTL, the philosophy, because you don't have it as a BSc student.
You have to add them.
You have to add them on. Because they did mention that then, but I was like, why mention it now? What if I did this whole like 4 months without doing those modules? Then what? Yeah, and then they just, well, they didn't actually give an estimate of like what your percentage has to be, because that was basically everyone's question. What does my percentage have to be? What does my average have to be for me to get in? And yada yada yada. I wouldn't say they disclosed much in that session. Just like, okay, we're opening the applications. Make sure that your average for mathematics from the trick is above 70. Make sure your APS is above 35. Make sure that you have all these other additional modules. Yeah, make sure that your marks are as best as they possibly can be. And then, yeah, after that, the application process was really easy. You didn't have to do much. Like, I didn't have to hand anything in because for the most part, they already had everything. Because it's kind of like an internal application. So you just applied. Oh, yeah, you choose two options, apparently. Or you can choose one. Yeah, they said, yeah, because I mean, there are also some people who try transferring from BSc to dentistry as well. So they're just also explaining that. Apparently, they said that, I don't think it's true because I had someone after me who was like, I applied for both medicine and dentistry and they still took me for medicine.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought they didn't allow that.
That's what I thought, because that's what they told us. Yeah. But she did that and she got it. So I was like, oh, okay.
People are taking chances and winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, ne? Do you remember the day you got your email?
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't an email. Because you know how they're always those students who are so fast. Like, they're always on the lookout. They're always looking for when the marks come. When they finally change the status on the portal before they even send out the email. So someone said on the group that
you guys were checking all the time.
Not me.
I mean, saying like in your group,
yeah, they were checking. So they said that on the group, and yeah, I just woken up, and then I was just sitting there on my bed. I'm like, damn, okay, the day's finally here. I was back home at this point. Yeah, just sitting there, and then took deep breaths, and then I was like, actually, I'm not ready to check. So then I went to the bathroom, I brushed my teeth, I went back to my room, and then, went to the UP portal, went to the student center, and yeah, I basically did all the steps before I actually go to the 2021 should I say page, where it actually reflects whether you got accepted or not. Because like, there's 2020, because you applied 2020.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yes. Sure. So mine was still on like the 2020 page. So when I was there, I was like, okay, the next step is for me to go to 2021. I was like, I'm not ready. So I just
kept delaying.
Yeah, I just sat there for a while. I took deep breaths. I talked to myself. I'm like, obviously I'm saying my prayers. I'm like, Lord, please. And I'm also contemplating, like, if it's a no,
what are you gonna
what
do
from here? Because I kept telling God throughout the whole BSc thing that, I don't want to do zoology and whatever. I'm sorry, I can't. I think my mental health is going to decline drastically if I have to go that way. But I mean, if that's your will for me, then let it be.
But it's not yours.
It's not my will. I'm like, if it's your will, let it be. And if it is so, then please let me get in, like, with the India transfer, like, get in, because I gotta there's the media, and then
I can understand. Yeah.
Then the following year, they take me for that one as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's what I failed to mention with the application process, that there's the media and the India. But obviously none of this is available anymore because they stopped the whole media thing and everything. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then yeah, eventually, like when you're inactive on the portal for too long, it kicks you out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
so I had to start it all over again.
That's how you delay.
Yeah. I had to start all over again. And then, yeah, then I prayed my little prayer again. I was like, Lord, please, please, please. And then I closed my eyes and then I was like, making sure, okay, I click on 21 and then I close my eyes quickly again. And then I opened them quickly again. And then I saw the congratulations and I scram. Yeah.
That moment.
Shame. It was a very, I don't know, it will always be a very big moment in my life. Yeah, for sure.
I understand. I'm sure you were quick to accept.
No, I didn't have time to accept. I was jumping up and down. I was jumping up and down. My mom was like, hey, what's going on? Is there a snake in my house? And I just kept screaming. And then, yeah, I ran to the sitting room and her being my mother, she was praying. I was like, I got in. And then, yeah, then my siblings also came out of the room. My dad woke up. He's like, oh, let me see. So it's
amazing.
Yeah, it's a very wholesome kind of moment. Yeah.
And I'm sure. Yeah, but no.
What?
That's for another. I'll ask the question another time.
Okay.
Can you tell us maybe you're now in medicine. How did it go until this far? Tell us about your experiences, things like that.
I think, shame, honestly, block 3 hit me like a brick.
Okay, block 3 is
second year.
Physio.
Homeostasis. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Physiology, all of that. Yeah, man, it was a lot of work, hey? And it was still online, and I was struggling to keep up. Also, at that time, I was also at home, so it was just a lot. So much so that I had to write this up. So yeah, and then anatomy was also another thing. I think also just being exposed to a whole cadaver was just like.
It's hard, Nick.
Yeah.
I understand.
And I don't know, for the most part, I thought I was okay. And then towards the end, that's when I started having dreams of these cadavers. And it was just weird dreams because they were alive. So it was just.
They were alive in your dreams. Kind of asking why are you cutting them?
Not asking. The dreams were just weird. Yeah. Other than that, Shem, I think medicine has challenged me more than I had anticipated. Like how most people who try going to medicine are like, no, me, I'm strong, me, I can be on my A game type of thing. Like, I can't be shaken by much. I'll manage, I'll see it through A, B, C, D, F, G. I've come to realize I wouldn't say with each year, because that year was nice. That year was nice for me. That year was really nice. That year was nice. But second year and fourth year, I don't know. I've come to realize that I really can't do this thing in my own capacity. Whether that means I'm drawing from my faith, whether I'm drawing from the community of people around me, or even just like family members, or even people. I've also learned to not shut out people who are acquaintances as well, because I'm realizing that this thing is way bigger than me, hey? Yeah, so I need all the help I can possibly get. So I've also been open to community in that sense as well. Like, you're an acquaintance, we're not friends, but like, help me, I help you type of thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's been very challenging mentally, more so mentally than anything. I think, with life, emotional turmoil is there, things happen. I think also because it's a very time consuming degree, I'm not able to prioritize my faith that much. Or maybe I've been struggling to. Yeah, so that has also impacted the trajectory of my whole journey. But I feel like after fourth year, I don't want to say I know what's what, because Jiggy Jiggy SIC comes and then I'm shaking again.
You'll be okay, don't worry. You're gonna be okay.
But yeah, I think I know how to keep in touch with God even when my schedule is so packed. Because I think, yeah, that's really important to me. And I really do draw all of my strength from him. So yeah.
No, that's great, man. I wanted to ask a question, but I think you've kind of touched it already. Like, how was it to be the girl who was passing distinctions and not having to deal with the SAP? How was that change? And how did you have to deal with that situation as a whole?
I had help from my cousin, again stressing the importance of community. So this is just one of the many examples of how it has facilitated my journey. Um, there was a lot of shame, obviously, when I saw that I had to write this up. Because I also didn't even know that the code was 999. So I logged onto the portal. So yeah, I remember I was at home again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's fine.
Sure.
I was at home at this point. We had just bought food, we were going back to the house. So I'm like, I'm scared because I had to write both the anatomy and the block 3 sub. Not sub, sorry, exam. Exam. So I passed anatomy, but I see this 999 on like alongside block 3. So obviously now I'm checking what does 99 mean, like in the yearbook thing. Like, no, it's a supplementary. Damn. So I never told anyone. I didn't tell my parents, like, because I mean, everyone was in the car with my siblings, with my parents. Yeah. I didn't tell them. I kind of sat with it for a while before I even came out to my cousin. I was like, bro, I'm writing a stuff. But I'm glad that I told her very early on, because yeah, I think I told in like July. We probably got a marks in June, so it wasn't too far apart. Yeah, there was a lot of shame. It's just like, how are you failing to get 50, bro? Like 50, you can't get 50%. That doesn't make sense, And like you're saying, you're used to getting all these high marks. Yeah. And then now it's not even a 55, it's like a 40 something. And you're just like, I think also given the history of not getting into medicine the first time, I'm like, okay, maybe this thing really isn't meant for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to be here, type of thing. Maybe I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable. All those kind of things. Yeah, yeah. And then I kind of just I let those thoughts roam until they got a bit much for me, and I always find a great sense of safety and security in discussing very, I don't know, intricate details of my life with my cousin. So I went to her also because I know that she wouldn't judge me. She's not the type of person to judge. She's a very loving person. So I went to her with that, and she shared with me that, no, I also had to write this up, A, B, C, D, F, G. And then she started giving me pointers on how to basically approach the whole dilemma. And the starting point was basically affirming my identity and her just saying, like just, yeah, come to terms with the fact that, yes, you have failed, but you yourself are not a failure. So I think that went a long way. And it's obviously not something that happened overnight, because then I'm someone who really believes in affirmations. So I put like affirmations like everywhere in my room. I was like, I'm not a failure and I'm gonna pass. And those, like, I had to. I had to. I think I definitely had to, because also I was very much in my head. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because I still have other blocks and I still have to write. I have to get through those blocks and then still have to tackle this big giant. So, yeah, after I had resolved the whole identity thing, I think that has to be one starting point. That's when I was like, okay, how are we going to do this practically? So I was like, okay, just make sure that you promote everything else in second semester, so that way you can focus on block 3, during like the exam week for the second semester modules. And yeah, I'd study here and there a little bit. I'll make sure that I touch on a topic like each week, even like during what was it, micro and the other, yeah, and all the other things that followed. So it went a long way. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just glad that I was able to center myself first so that I could think clearly and be like, okay, this is how we're going to go about it. And it all worked out in the end.
Nice, eh? Yeah. So another question I want to ask, being a top 10 scholar back in high school, do you have maybe any tips and tricks you can teach? So what can you advise someone who maybe is looking to do that, also with their own marks?
All of it is gonna sound very much like what everyone says, you know. But I think also sometimes people don't realize that the strides that you see people taking, like it all just starts with those small little steps, you know. So it's very, I think it'll be in your benefit to always heed those small things that seem like, this is insignificant. What do you mean?
That's very good advice, actually.
Yeah. So the small things like practicing maths every day. I did that like every day. But also, I love maths very much. It felt like my best friend.
Is it?
So making the time to practice. Okay, let me just start by saying I always drew out a timetable. Again, I got this from like YouTube. Okay, no, this is specifically pertaining to like exam seasons, but I think you can apply it like throughout like the entire year. So obviously, you know, maybe you go to school from like 7 to 2, maybe you have extracurricular activities after, maybe you don't, but basically just calculating the amount of free time you have in the week, right? So maybe I know that I get home by at 5 and I know I'm willing to study from 5 to 10. So from Monday to Friday, not Friday, like Monday to Thursday, 5 to 10. So that's
from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. All right. Monday you to Friday. Pushing. This was in high school.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
5 to 10. So then I know in the week I have like from Monday to Thursday I have 20 hours free time, right? And then Friday, whether I choose to rest or whether I choose to study as well, I incorporate those hours as well. And then I always tried contributing most of my time to the subjects I struggled most with. So yeah, maybe for me it was English. I really struggled with English. So let's say English has 6 hours. And then yeah, apart from English, I didn't really struggle with much. So English had lots of my time.
Come on. Yeah. You were in charming school.
I guess. Not now, but yeah. Not now, but yeah, we tried. Yeah. It's been a very long journey of trying to redeem oneself, but it's okay.
Trying to bring us back to the glory days. Now, don't worry, just keep pushing.
Just keep pushing. That's a good laugh.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back.
What was I saying now? See, now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so yeah, let's say English has like 6 hours, and then maybe the subjects that I just want to prioritize would be maths and physics. So then maths and physics would have like 4 hours each, and then accounting. Okay, no, but accounting was also just under English online. Yeah, so maybe 6 hours. Okay, but basically, get what I'm saying. English would get more, then accounting, then maths and physics, and then Afrikaans was just always down there. Like I'd give it 1 hour, sometimes
you
1
were
hour.
Good in Afrikaans?
I don't think I was. I mean, yes, I was good in Afrikaans, but our teacher was. She did her utmost best to equip us even in the classroom, so much so that I didn't have to put the extra work in outside of the classroom. Like in class, like we'd always finish the content beforehand, and then she would give us like exam questions to practice all the time. So I'll do them in class, and I know that after this I don't have to see it again, and I would do it quite often. So I really didn't have to put in the extra time. She did all the work for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Not to say that my other teachers didn't, because they did as well. No, because my maths and my physics teacher were just as great as she was. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe IQ. Maybe I'm just saying that Afrikaans first additional language is not maths and physics kind of like they don't require the same intellectual capacity. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how I structured it. So I just give most of my time to things that needed more of my time. Where I needed help, I would seek help from my teachers. I will mention though that I had extra classes for accounting because I felt like the teacher at my school didn't teach accounting so well. And sometimes I really couldn't wrap my head around certain concepts. So that went a long way as well. And then, yeah, apart from that, that's as simple as it is like being diligent, being persistent, mapping things out practically. So don't now tell yourself that you're gonna finish a whole chapter in a night, you know. I think, yeah, take those small steps every day. Again, I think I'll make the example with maths. Like, I'll just know that, okay, today I had this book, what is it called? X Factor. I use X Factor to study, like, on my day to day. And then towards exams, that's only when I'll do, like, exam papers. Yeah, I'll do just like because it has various worksheets. So it'll be like worksheet 7, and let's say it's focusing specifically on functions. And then there's a worksheet 7A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way up to like maybe Z. And then obviously your A is your simple things, your B is a bit more high level. Okay. Yeah. So with each one, yeah, basically the what do you call this? It required more intellectual capacity. And then, yeah, I'll just be like, okay, today I'm going to do worksheet 7A and B, and then tomorrow C and D.
Nice, man. I think that's very great and practical advice. Is there anything maybe else you'd like to add on my side? Maybe there's a question I haven't asked you want to tell us more about, especially from your side.
From my side, I think I've said it, but I think within the journey of being a medical student, one thing I will stress, I don't know if you'll agree, but I don't think everyone has, I think it's a blessing also to have a community of people surrounding you. And not just, yeah, and not just rooted in the discipline of medicine itself, but people outside, people who actually get to live life. Because I feel like we are deprived of living life to a great extent. Not really, but like, yeah, you're not the average person. You don't live life like the average person for the most part. I mean, this year I quite literally only went home just to sleep, wake up, go to school.
Yeah, I understand.
The whole time. Hey, no,
yeah, I'm very happy to be done.
I'm very happy to be
Yeah,
done.
no, both years.
I'm so happy to be done. So even just having friends who can just pull you away responsibly though, not like every other day we're saying, Tommy, let's go out. Maybe even if it's just like once a month, do a little something, go out, breathe. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It could also just be like something that is so common in Hatfield is someone going to McDonald's to get ice cream with a friend. Whereas for me, it's not that common. I understand. So even if I get to do that once a month, do that. So do the smallest things, root yourself in community, whether that be like church or friends, like I said, or family, or yeah, I don't know. What other community do you think people could possibly seek? I understand. I think from mine, I think you've covered most of them, eh? I think first of all, you must have people in the qualification you're doing, and then your faith is very important, and then friends. I think friends and family. I think that covers everything. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and do scary things as well outside. What does that mean? Scary things? No, like things that you've never done before, like something that challenges your personal development. Okay. I mean, I know the medical space already kind of it does a lot of that. It develops you. It does every day. It does every day. Every day. Every day. But sure. Like I don't know, I think for me this year it just looked like going to a conference where it was scary for me personally. But I think do something scary. Like maybe if you're someone who's, let's say you're good at writing, but you are too scared to actually put a voice to your poetry, I'd say, you know, if ever you find that there's a space where poets gather and they speak, go do that. You know, do something outside of school that will challenge you.
You do poetry?
No, I was just trying to come up with an example.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more practical. Yeah.
All right.
Also, go to the gym.
Hey. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm serious.
You'll have time. In time.
No, definitely next year I'll have time.
Of
So thank you much. Thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like, share, and subscribe. Sorry.
No problem.
Thank you.
Bye.